Perry for Vision of the Valley. Have you ever been to a place that just made you stop and go, oh wow? Well, the Children's Museum in Youngstown is one of those places, and we found it's not just for fourth graders. The person who makes everything happen here at Oh Wow is Suzanne Barbati, who is the director here, and she's here to tell us how you made what some people thought would never happen in Youngstown, Ohio happen. You came into this when it had already been a children's museum, but it was moving to this location, correct?
Well, the board had already determined that the Children's Museum would become a STEM focus, science, technology, engineering, and math. And after I came on board and we finished a strategic planning effort, the board together made the decision that we needed to find a new space. So that was after I started.
So tell me about this space. It used to be
the McCrory's, which is, and so we're in a historic building right in downtown Youngstown, Ohio. It's been, we have 16,000 square feet of exhibit space, and a small percentage of that is administrative offices, but we do our very best to fill the available space with really cool, state-of-the-art, world-class exhibits.
Yeah. So how is it that this has become such a successful part of the downtown Youngstown scene?
I believe that the community wanted this place to be successful, and they continue to support us in so many different ways. I mean, people tell their friends, their family, their coworkers to come here. We've had people from all over the world here. People come back to Youngstown to visit friends and family, and their friends and family bring them here because it is an institution that's becoming really well known to be really world class and competitive with every other children's museum, every other science and tech center in the world. So we're really excited about that. And certainly, you know, I did not do this by myself. I have a staff that works their tails off, and I have a board of directors that volunteers countless hours every single day to promote the museum, to make sure we have the resources we need, to introduce the museum to friends and family and other investors, because certainly without our investors, we wouldn't be here. And First National Bank was really the first to step up to the plate. Roger and Gloria Jones, of course, we would not be here without them. They started the STEM focus at the original Children's Museum back in 2008, so way before my time, and continue to be supportive both financially and otherwise.
So how does that help the museum that there is such a focus on science, technology, engineering, and math? I mean, that kind of helps it really not just to be all over the place, right?
Yeah, it really has provided a focus, and in this job, a focus is really essential because there are so many things on the list, and the science, technology, engineering, and math focus on our exhibits. Every one of our exhibits is connected to the state content standards in Ohio and Pennsylvania, so that makes us competitive for school field trips. Without that, we would lose 30% of our business, so that's pretty dramatic. And we want to promote science in your home. And so WFMJ and our Oh Wow Moments and Madonna Chisholm Pinkard on Sunday mornings, Community Connections, you know, we're really bringing science into the home. And the cool thing about it is you do not have to have all the answers to explore and experiment. That's the fun of it. You think about it, you decide what you want to do, and then you can figure out what happened. And so I think that if there's one message that I could convey to people, it's that do not be afraid of science. Why do the ice cubes float? I mean, it's as simple as that. And do
I want to know why the ice cubes float. I don't know the answer to that.
And I don't have a science background necessarily. You know, I have, you know, Audra Carlson is the education manager, and she and Colleen and all of their staff and the volunteers help a lot with that. But
so you've been open here since what year?
Oh, May of 2011, so we'll be just 4 years old in 2015, and we will have a party, and there will be cake, and we're celebrating. You know, I think initially we thought we were just trying to stay open, right, and to figure out how to operate and how to be successful, and we've exceeded that. We've exceeded everyone's expectations, and so this year, 2015, 2016, it's going to be about becoming a 90-year-old institution in our community. How do we do that? How do we make sure that Oh Wow continues? Because clearly the community wants the museum to continue. It's our job to figure out how to do that with their support and their advice.
So, talking about how it fits into a city, I mean, I've been to a couple other ones. Rochester, New York, I think it's called the Strong Museum, and Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's
Please
big.
Touch. Yeah.
Oh, Please Touch, yes.
Yeah.
And they're a much younger population at that museum.
Right. And different things like, you know, Alice in Wonderland exhibit and stuff like that. So what does it mean for Youngstown to have something like this right in the middle of town? What do you think that means for Youngstown? Is up there with the big cities?
For Youngstown, absolutely. I think Oh Wow has become an economic development engine in the downtown area. I think as a result of our visitors, local businesses are changing their menus to accommodate kids. Local businesses are doing a better job at cleaning their sidewalks because families are coming downtown to visit Oh Wow, and we need to have those sidewalks clear for strollers and toddlers and senior citizens and wheelchairs. And every one of those people spends money when they come down here, not just here at Oh Wow, but across the board throughout the city. So we are having an impact, and the numbers are as low as $800,000 a year and as high as $3.2 million a year. So we're looking at maybe trying to figure that out.
You know, and it's not just for, if I can say, I've been here a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's not just for kids.
It's not just for kids.
It's not just for kids.
That's right. It's for learners of all ages.
And we do have fun here, no matter how old we are.
Yeah.
So,
and
you know, if people think, oh, I don't have little kids, I can't come in, they really should come in and see what it's all about.
Come and see what it's all about. We have learning opportunities for everyone. InspireWorks is open now every weekend. That's our version of make spaces or the make movement.
Right.
So it's quite a bit different than the main exhibit floor. We also have a new exhibit that's coming in May called Kids in the Kitchen, which is going to focus on the 0 to 5 population and really promote the idea of good food choices, understanding we're an agricultural community and understanding the impact of that agricultural industry on our community. It's funny because some folks have said we needed a mascot, but how do you pick a mascot that's universal for boys and for girls, for men and for women? So I don't know if Yeti will become our mascot. He's been
the big bear.
It's been very well received, but haven't noticed a difference between boys and girls. Now the exhibit floor was designed for 4th graders, which is about 10 years old, right? We can expand that age when we do programming. So educational programming, guided field trips, that expands that age up to 12, 13. And with InspireWorks, we anticipate that being able to go up to 14, 15. And then you move into the volunteer opportunities for high school students. We have over 100 volunteers, including our board of directors, that helps tremendously. And without them, we would be lost. So there's lots of opportunities here, not just for students, but for adults, retired teachers, retired educators, retired engineers, retired anybody. Come on in. We'll find a job for you.
And the whole idea here is that science is fun, right? I mean, that's what you want people to come away with, is it's fun to learn all this stuff.
It is fun to learn, and it sets the stage. So, and we could talk about this as we walk through the museum, but the first floor is really all about the scientific process of inquiry. So helping people make observations, listen to their kids when their kids make observations, and asking pertinent questions, just giving the kids an opportunity to speak and to talk and to use descriptive words and to understand what they see and be able to describe it.
So one reason you haven't picked a mascot here yet, as you said, because it's hard to pick one that appeals to both boys and girls.
Exactly.
But you got this guy.
We have the Yeti, and is it a guy or is it a girl?
Well, it's an it, I think. So is that an issue though to pick a mascot? Do you think you'll do that?
Not right now. It's not on the list. I don't really. I think our logo is so unique and recognizable that we don't really need a mascot right now. But I'm certainly open to any suggestions.
And then how did he come to be here? He, she, it.
She, it, the Yeti. We have a guy named Angelo Lamarca who does all our facilities maintenance and develops new exhibits for us. And so we always like to compete for the window display in December. And this is the second year that we've won. So the Yeti. And so what we try to do to maximize our resources, right, is the whatever the window display is carries over into the parade.
Awesome.
And the lighting of the tree, and
right.
So that's what happened. And we want to dream big in 2015. We talked about some of the new exhibits coming in, and we have some new programming planned as well. And we want everybody to dream big.
Yeah.
In Youngstown, Ohio.
I want to touch this. Ooh. Yeah, he's like not as heavy as when you touch him. He's kind of light.
Lightweight. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I
love the blue eyes.
I love
glowing.
the blue eyes. I love the nails. I wanted to paint the nails, but I was told no, that was inappropriate. but people are traveling from all over the region to come and see the Yeti. So how cool is that?
Very cool.
And again, they're going to come downtown and they're going to go to a restaurant, or they're going to go to the Butler, or they're going to go to the History Center and see other resources, other great community institutions that we have here. It's all good for us.
Everybody can dream big, right?
We can all dream big, and we ought to. Why should we limit ourselves?
Right. So right here we've got a really cool thing where kids can do their own weather forecast, right?
That's right.
Tell me about that.
Right. So the original exhibit floor was designed for fourth graders in mind, and weather and clouds and all of those formations is part of the fourth grade standards. The other side of the coin is that this exhibit is a carryover from the original Children's Museum.
Right, I remember.
Right, so it was a favorite, and we wanted to keep it, and we were lucky enough that WFMJ wanted to keep it. So it's one of the favorites. You can do your own weather forecast. You can be an anchor. You can role play and really be and understand what a green screen is when you see those things.
That's the best part about this, is that it makes people understand how they do the weather and how
Exactly.
those maps pop up behind people. And
Exactly. And the skill that's necessary.
Yeah.
Right? Who knows? Our next local anchor might be here today.
Right. Yeah, they certainly get used to being on camera anyway.
Yeah,
Kids do, so
and
they're not even worried about doing this.
No, and the same thing at this exhibit we promote throughout this exhibit floor. So the scientific process of inquiry, what do you notice or observe? What conclusions can you draw? And what are you going to do differently next time to change those results? So it doesn't just apply here on the exhibit floor, but it applies out there in the real world. And we hope that's one of our goals, is that people understand that and become more familiar with it, and that parents and caregivers will give their children time to answer their questions. I can't tell you how often when families will come up to our front desk and I'll ask a child, well, how much is that? You have 3 people, it's $8 a person, how much is that? And the parents will answer the question for them.
Oh, I know, I'm guilty of that, I think.
Well, I think we can all do better at that.
I think I do that.
Let's give our kids time to process and to respond. And I have a hard time processing these days too. I don't know why, so I need extra time as well.
So, and now we're looking over there. There's the dancing water, or whatever you call that exhibit.
The dancing water, the laminar shooter, and it's one of the favorites. We empty these exhibits on a daily basis and refill.
Oh, good. That looks like a lot of fun.
Play with the water and the water streams. It's much more difficult to keep the water in the table. Can you do that?
Oh.
So we don't like to tell people not to do something here. We like to challenge them to do it differently.
Right. Yeah.
But the floors get wet. There are drains underneath each of the tables to accommodate that water.
Yeah.
You know, Frank and
Ron.
Ron
Yeah.
were our designers here, and in fact Frank is designing the new exhibit, Kids in the Kitchen, which we're going to promote tonight, and that's going to be installed over there between the water table and the airplane. So another 475 square feet of new exhibit space specifically designed for the young, 0 to 5.
This isn't just for kids. This is actually something that grown-ups can do and have fun doing different things in here. Like, I'm fascinated by this, and I was at a party here and everybody was playing with this. An adult party.
Yes, we have adult parties, and we are promoting corporate events this year as well.
And then I asked you, do you see whether boys or girls are more interested in things like this? And what did you say about that?
I don't notice a difference between the boys and the girls. Now, some of our volunteers who are on the exhibit floor.
Look, I almost have that one in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost did it.
May have a different perception, but I don't notice that, and we don't actually track that.
Yeah.
We are working to make sure our programming is attractive to both boys and girls and interesting to both boys and girls, right?
Right. And then also with when you said we should never really stop asking questions, and there's lots of questions here that if a child asks their parent, they don't really know the answer to it. So they could come here and figure it out themselves.
Come here and figure it out. Look it up on your smartphone. There's lots of ways to do that, but by all means, give your children time to answer questions.
To ask the questions.
Ask the question. Ask them what they think.
Right.
You know, and it does make for interesting conversations with your children. Each of those little bugs has a solar cell on it, which is activated by the flashlight, and you have to try and get the bugs into their house, which is the center structure there. So it's something that we are looking at in the future. Is this something that could be replicated? Is it something that we could sell to other children's museums? And what would that look like, and how do we move forward with that? So this is one of those things, think big, in 2015.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's really fun.
And then the video there actually connects to the solar panels on Mosier Hall.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we actually have a partnership with Carrie Myers, who's a professor up at YSU. And every student, and there are over 200 of them in Engineering 1560 up there, has to develop a prototype exhibit for Oh Wow. And then they're judged, and we're working on actually installing the winner last year here on our main exhibit floor. Plus we have dollars in our budget to hire an intern. So downstairs is the new health and wellness exhibit area, which is actually in development. We have some new things coming in, but it's all about living well and being well, making good decisions, taking care of yourself, recognizing emotions when you see them.
So this looks like a rock climbing wall, but actually it moves, right?
Yes, so it is a rock climbing wall that rotates as the climber climbs, which means there's less likelihood of injury, right? Because you're never too far off the ground.
Right.
And it's very difficult. So there's a challenge there, again, for children who are older, young adults.
I know.
People like you and me, maybe not so much. I have to say I'm not
a big rock climber.
I'm not a big rock climber, but it meets our goals and objectives
to have this be a challenge for younger kids who can do it, right?
Right.
But I'm like, it's already hard enough to do these things when they don't move.
When they don't move.
What the heck is this moving thing?
This one moves, yeah, and so.
But you said a local developer came up with this.
Yes, and so it's a Freedom Climber. If you Google Freedom Climber, the company's name will pop up. They're a PA firm, and his sister actually came in several years ago and said, hey, you really need to look at this. And so it's been on the drawing board for a number of years. We were able to purchase it and unveil it. It's still available for sponsorship, but it's been very well received.
Very nice.
It's very durable, which is exactly what we need, right? It attracts an older audience. Now this is one of those areas I'd be interested to see do more boys and girls, but so far I have not noticed a difference.
Okay.
The wheelchair racer, which gives people a sense of what it takes to be a para-Olympian in a competition. The My Plate exhibit, which has been here a while, the mental health exhibit, and the video exhibit, stop motion animation, those are all here to stay. We'll have some new things coming in related to assistive technologies. So people who are hearing impaired, what kind of technology is out there to help them hear better, to do the things they want to do. Prosthetic limbs, what kind of prosthetic limbs are there, what kind of technology is available, how is that technology progressing, and how can we promote that here at OWOW?
So this space here is Inspireworks, right? That's what you call it? And what does that mean exactly?
So what that means is it's all about working, right? So it's an effort to promote careers in industries that are in demand locally, not just in our region, but within the nation, worldwide, right? So that's number one. Number two is it's going to provide us an opportunity to change these exhibits on a regular basis, but just by changing the materials, the tools, and the samples. So if you look at the star flakes over here, you can see a couple of people have built their own snowflakes with paper. So the tools related to paper would be scissors, rulers, right?
And paper.
Paper, glue, presses. And so we can, at some point, we'll take all of this away and we'll put something else up here with new tools, new patterns, new materials. And this is how we're going to offer a new experience for people when they come back. And this will change, this entire space here will change on a quarterly basis in terms of the activities that are offered. We also have a classroom on the other side that will be designed, that is designed for group work. So this space is now open on the weekends, and it's there's no additional fee. Your general admission price gets you, your general admission gets you into Inspireworks free of charge. You learn things in school, but how do you apply those things? And this is an environment where you can do that. Always looking for things to take apart, Things to use. We need, we have a table there, a deconstruction table that's fairly new. So if you have old electronics you don't need anymore, old alarm clocks, old, I don't know, I think one of these fans was in an old water pick. So we're always looking for contributions and donations.
Yeah. This past year, 50,000 people came through the doors here at OWOW, and with all the new activities and new exhibits planned, it's hoped that this year we'll see 60,000. So it looks like OWOW will be in the news for many years to come. For Vision of the Valley, I'm Tricia Perry.